the truth behind what is shown. Is media representing the right thing? There are rumors, might be true for all parties, that a lot of news channels are paid.
If educated people do not come to politics, then politics will go to the hands of the corrupt people, right? When somebody is in government and we are in opposition, you have to fight it out. They don't need us.
Narendra Modi does not come and do any roadshow in Bengal, let's say for a state election.
Right.
Don't you think it will leave a very big dent?
Why will he not do a road show?
So unemployment numbers were not discussed in that. Do you think that could have also been mentioned?
I don't think so. Government cannot create unlimited amount of government jobs. Jobs data, I think for a 10-year government is not that relevant. Whether my government is working on the infrastructure so that jobs come in my country is more relevant to me.
Do you think we will be there where China has been in all these years in terms of like boom in manufacturing, infra?
So people understand that is why they have voted for Modi government twice and they will vote for the Modi government for the third time.
Do you see Congress to be a threat anymore as far as the national government is concerned?
We have more seats in Uttar Pradesh than Congress has in the entire country.
From a reverse standpoint, what do you think is the biggest weakness of BJP? Hi everyone, welcome to this very special podcast. Today we have Mr. Kalicharan with us, who is the co-incharge of the media department of the Bharatiya Janata Party here in West Bengal. And we are hoping to get some insights into the tricks and trades of political parties, because we are very used to seeing just the front side of the media. Media, what we see is just a small part of it, but just like the press conference we attended right now, there involves a lot of background stuff.
Of course, see, a press conference is a 20-minute, 25-minute affair, what you witness right now. But for that 20-25 minutes, there is a team working behind it. At least 3-4 hours of research, fine-tuning each and every point is very important for any press conference. Be it, not only political, for any press conference, I think that must be true.
Right. I think in politics also things have become very sensitive.
Right.
The truth behind what is shown, is media representing the right thing? At times, even the slightest mistake in the research can lead to a very big difference. So that's why a lot of background work. Was it always this case? Like if you look at 10, 15 years back, was media so sensitive and important when it came to politics?
If your question was 10 years back, I'm taking you 30 years back. So the atrocities which the CPM government did that time, say the late 70s, 80s, 90s, they were highlighted because social media was not proactive, right? So anything which is happening in a, say, had Sandesh Khali happened in 1980s, 1990s, nobody would have known. Because how did an event like Sandesh Khali rock the entire country? Because of media, because of the social media. So had Sandesh Khali, this Sheikh Shahjahan or his predecessors, these things are going on for years, but it got highlighted only because of media and social media. So the point I want to make is, previously things used to happen in a village, they used to stop. That story ends there. But now what is happening in a remote village, which is a ST scheduled caste seat in West Bengal, Sandesh Kali, nobody would have, outside West Bengal, even in West Bengal, people would not have heard the name Sandesh Kali. Now it is a national news, international news, whatever you call it. It's only because of media.
When you say media here, you also mention social media.
Right. Each and every Bengali channel will have some kind of bias. If you talk about top 9 Bengali channels which have a BARC rating, each and every one would have some kind of bias about, say, about a particular party, about a particular leader. But what I've observed is social media channels, there are various in Bengali political. If you see the political arena of in Bengal or in Bengali language, they don't have much biases. There are biases, but uh, they try to be neutral, you know.
Okay.
And I feel their social media and YouTube channels which are working, say, who do political analysis, they are much better than news channels. Why? Because they give you better insights which you will never get on television. Television is much more fast paced. You 30 seconds 10 news, or say 2 minutes 100 news.
Right.
That kind of stuff goes on, which you will never recall. But social media, say a podcast, you'll remember that might have a lasting impact on you.
Like this one.
Maybe we don't
Okay.
know.
But I think it's interesting over here when you look at social media. Like previously, if you watch a news channel, it
Right.
is like one kind of news is being shown to everyone. But now, because of the algorithm of social media, the more you watch one kind of a content, the
Correct.
more it will show you that. So
Right.
now social media is seeming to have a stronger hold in influencing people's minds.
That's not also a good thing, you know. See, if I'm a BJP supporter and I watch pro BJP videos and I'm being shown pro BJP stuff only, I don't think I don't think for a common man that's a good thing. He will never get to see what, say, Congress is saying, what other parties are saying, what Trinamool is saying. So maybe because I'm not a big fan of this algorithm, but that's not in our hands.
Right. How did politics come into this entire? Was it a coincidence or did you always have interest?
No, actually, it was, see, I was completing my graduation uh, from Bhawanipur College from, say, it was 2014 to 17. So I was very active in college clubs and um, very active during college life in various co-curricular. So in 2016, I was spotted by um, some persons who thought I would be a good, because they understood there are people, and this is how the network, say, in RSS works. I mean, they identify people and they approach you somehow.
Very young.
Not necessarily, but they try to get good people from. They try to get from all spheres of life, and they kind of approached, not to join politics, but to participate in various programs. So that's how I got slowly associated towards BJP, and then I got to know about Yuva Morcha, and when in 2016 demonetization happened, I was given a big responsibility of mm, digitizing Bengal. As in, I went to all districts of West Bengal. I understood Bengal, and you know, QR codes. So I used to go to various shops so that uh, they install QR codes, because that time it was a new thing.
Wasn't this you did for the government
No, this
or
we
for a private player? Like
no,
phone
for
pay
a party, for on the, so suppose in 2016 when demonetization happened, we used to go that we are from Bharatiya Janata Party. You install you know, this QR, take payments digitally. So we don't want to like promote any company of sorts. We just want, you should have a digital QR of any company of your choice, but you have it.
I think that time Paytm was dominating a bit, so by default it helped Paytm a lot.
No, Paytm, see, Paytm does not have the market share right now, right?
Yeah.
But whatever Paytm built, other companies built on that. So Paytm is still a loss-making company, right? So Paytm, our goal was not to benefit a particular company. Our goal is to digitize the economy. Now you see the digital transaction.
Right.
What we worked on was helping the government digitize the economy, because what Bharatiya Janata Party does, or Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha did that time, was to help the government. So government machinery is there, they are there, but party, when you are part of the party, it's not politics, hardcore politics all the time. It's also helping government in helping the government to reach the scheme to the last person, right?
Right.
That,
When you joined them, but did you ever think? I think you are like very specifically on the media side of things.
right.
Um, any thoughts on like entering into mainstream politics? Did you ever have it? Any future
This
thoughts?
is, I think, mainstream politics. If media is mainstream politics for me, after the Digital India project, I was in college outreach, and then I came to the media department, and slowly I was given in charge of co-in-charge of media department 2021, much later. So I worked from 2018 to 2021. I worked as a volunteer, and you understand this. This is a very crucial age in your life. Okay, so 20 to 28, 8 years I've given to politics. So you understand, there were days I used to stay in party office months after months. I used to stay in party office when I was in the media department. I was dedicated towards it, and party also reward. This is how BJP works. Party also rewarded me at the age of 20. I became state committee member of Yuva Morcha. At the age of 25, I became state committee member of BJP West Bengal, and I'm the youngest member right now of the state committee member of BJP West Bengal. So party rewards you in ways. I have no political background. My family has no political background. Nobody far in my family is in politics. So this hard work, dedication, I think was rewarded in Bharatiya Janata Party West Bengal unit.
I think we've even on the nationalistic scale,
Right.
we do talk about like haters, likers, anyone, they will agree about one thing that BJP has a very well structured mechanism of keeping the even the remotest workers engaged and showing
Right.
them growth, just like any other corporate does. So people do stick around, even not just for the purpose, but also for the growth and everything, the intent that they see from the leaders. But I just have to ask this that in a lot of families, still people do look at politics. And if I today tell my parents that I want to join politics, it will not be the same as any other job that I would look to see. Even they would even prefer an NGO maybe. That's still a mindset, do you think, or do you think it has changed?
Right. So see, if educated people do not come to politics, then politics will go to people like Sheikh Shah Jahan, or politics will go to the hands of the corrupt people, right? So if had I not been in politics, somebody else would have taken my position. But there is a there is a cost, the opportunity cost, which I have to also suffer, because I'm not able to do. I'm engaged for 16 hours in politics right now, so that cost you have to bear. But when you want to make a bigger change, when you want to make bigger impact, see, say take the example of Prime Minister Modi. Think about him, what he was doing at the age of 30, 35, 40,
Mm-hmm.
45. Think about, these are important phases of a person's life. People get educated, complete their education, get married, have a family. But at this age, if you are engaged in politics, it's for a bigger purpose, and that purpose drives you. So your question that whether it is easy, whether family agrees or not, family will not agree. 99% of the families non-political. If you are from political
It
family,
becomes.
yeah, it becomes easier. It becomes, if families presently engaged in a political activity, it's become easier. But 99% of the non-political families in India will discourage you to come to politics. But if you have a bigger purpose in life, if you want to change policies, if you want to bring in change in your country, in your state, in your society, or in your municipality, in your panchayat, then you have to come to politics. Otherwise, that change will not come from that. You, of course, you can bring in change. Say your podcast takes interview of startups. They are influencing people, right? They are influencing families. But they are, say, a startup, there are 500 people working in a startup. That means 2,500 people are dependent on that startup family.
Right.
They are engaged, their customers are engaged with them. So, but that is a smaller engagement to me, considering a population of 1.4
The level of
billion.
impact
The
is
level of impact I want to create through my years in politics. That is why I'm in politics, and that is why I have convinced my family. You have to, if you are dedicated, you have to convince your family that this is the future I want. I might struggle, I might not have that much of money right now, or that my friends might be for more prosperous right now. They might have a family right now,
right.
but that is the uh, cost that you have to bear.
I would want to once touch back on the role that media plays. And here there are two things: offline campaigns, roadshows, etc., and online aspects of it.
Right.
I want to touch on both these separately as to how honest is what we see out there. Let's talk about offline first. So the roadshows, at times we've heard of like roadshows becoming difficult for any party that is not currently ruling. Uh, for your case, let's talk about the current state itself. So we've heard of rumors that a lot of roadshows were not possible. Amit Shah's helicopter couldn't land.
Right.
There are a lot of barricades. Do you think that is for any state whatsoever that there are some difficulties when it comes to offline campaigns?
Right. So see, these are why was Amit Shah's helicopter uh, not able to land in West Bengal? That was because of political reasons. So when you are in opposition, you will face this crisis. Not crisis, I would say this problems you have to face. This is inevitable. But what happens is when somebody is in government and we are in opposition, you have to fight it out. There's no other way you can come to power, right? So when we are campaigning for elections, you will have problems. So you will have permissions problem, logistic problem. All there are hundreds of problems a candidate will face. But we won 18 seats in 2019 Lok Sabha, 77 seats in 2021 Vidhan Sabha. We have lost life of at least 200 plus karyakartas. So problems are not that problematic. They can be solved. But when you lose a life of so many karyakartas, that is not something which an organization is shaped up by a loss of a karyakarta. For example, a karyakarta dies in a booth killed by TMC goons. The entire morale of that unit falls down because everybody is scared. So to come out to campaign. So that is the main hindrance, you can say, that violence, attack on people's houses, women being raped. So otherwise, if politics happens democratically, then elections is a festival, right?
But
In India,
this particular part of like violence being present, like here you are not the ruling party. In a lot of states, you are the ruling
yes,
party.
but there is no violence in elections.
Don't you think there would be some tit for tat sort of thing?
No, so there is. You see, today we are having first phase of election. There are elections happening in 21 states. You will have reports of violence only in Bengal. This culture is only in states like Bengal and Kerala. So,
Kerala is a very literate state.
so what? There is political violence in Kerala, high rate of political violence in Kerala. You will see this political violence for now, I think, is restricted to these two states.
Okay.
Okay.
In Bengal, has it been happening since CPM or?
Yes, yes. This is a culture of the CPM. The TMC has brought it forward, but the political violence culture is a culture of the CPM.
It's more in the villages
It's more,
side.
yes, cities you are much more safer. Villages, because all our karyakartas except four or five are from panchayat areas.
I'm very curious then.
Yes.
Being a part of the media,
Yes.
media like podcasts, news channels, it's more prevalent. Social media, it's more prevalent in the city.
Right.
So if there is so much violence,
Right.
how would the voters be encouraged to go out and vote impartially? How can the media play a role in that to change that particular aspect? Or do you think the election commission is enough?
No, no. See, media, I think media has reached to the, even not the last person, but media has reached to at least 90-95% of Bengal's population. So if your question is whether whether the messaging we are doing through media is reaching to the last person, I think it is reaching to the last person, not through social media, but through media it is reaching to the last person, at least through newspapers, through say Man Ki Baat program, radio is with everyone. So Modi ji's message is reaching to the last person, to television. So if
Hmm.
you consider television, radio, traditional media,
Right.
television, radio,
That is still there.
yes. So that is, but in cities people are not watching television. In cities people are not that watching news channels. They are more into YouTube, watching news on YouTube, like watching ABP. Say I take the name of the biggest player in Bengal, ABP Anando. They are not watching ABP Anando on television. They are watching ABP Anando on YouTube or on Facebook or even on Instagram, right? So they are
Hmm.
watching a 30-second clip of ABP Anando on Instagram. Okay.
Okay, got it. Let's also touch on the online campaign side now that
Hmm.
we spoke of offline. Online, there are rumors, might be true, for all parties that a lot of news channels are paid. And that's often the talk of the town throughout India's history, I think. Do you think that is true, and do you think it is okay?
I don't think so because I have worked very closely with channels and I know how we give advertisements during elections. That's it. So this time elections, 2021 elections, we gave advertisements to almost all channels of Bengal. 2024 elections, we are giving advertisements. Otherwise, there is no, I can tell you with responsibility, there is no financial help that party does to news channels
Okay.
because they are, and news channel doesn't need us, they make enough profits, you understand. So they are running a channel, they are running a setup, they are earning enough profits to sustain them, they don't need us, they don't need party's money, they are not funded by Bharatiya Janata Party or sorts, at least in Bengal no channel is funded by us.
Okay, got it. So let's talk about online and offline campaigns once together because there is one question that very often comes into the picture that there is just one or two faces for a particular party. For example, for BJP, there is Modi primarily shown. For Congress, there are the Gandhis that are primarily shown. Even in the state elections, they are the ones who lead the roadshows at times. So, don't you think this somehow, as far as the media is concerned, this gives a push to the state players via the center on basis on the center's merit, not on the state government's merit? So don't you think there is some misalignment in that?
No, see, this is a national. If you are talking about 2024 elections in particular, this is a national election, right? So you want me
No,
to, you
in
want,
general, let's say state elections also.
let's say state election, we are fighting on Modi's name or Congress is fighting on Rahul Gandhi's name, right? That if
Right.
that is the question, see, he's the prime minister of the country as well as he he he's a member of the Bharatiya Janata Party and we have a BJP ruled government, right? So if you come to state elections, we are fighting on state basis because the chief minister, when we become when BJP comes to power in Bengal, chief minister will not be Narendra Modi, right? The chief minister will be someone from West Bengal. So we are there are when West Bengal 2021 elections, or if you say when 2026 elections takes place, we have 294 candidates fighting it out. So candidates are fighting it out on local issues in 20 when assembly elections take place. And if when I give you example of say 2021 elections, our party's face was Dilip Ghosh. Our party's you know face state president was Dilip Ghosh. When we are fighting 24 elections here, party's face is Shukanto Majumdar, who is now the state president. Part Now we have a leader of opposition. In 2021, we did not have a leader of opposition. Now we have it. So we have Shubhendu Adhikari as the face. When you attended the press conference before this podcast, you saw in the background there were two pictures, Shukanto Majumdar and Shubhendu Adhikari. So we are fighting it out on state. Faces are important. Faces are important at the national level. Faces are important at the state level, and faces are even important at the district level. So faces are important at the mandal level. I'll show you the organization of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and I will show you how faces are created at each and every level. At national level, we have JP Nadda and Narendra Modi, who is national president and prime minister. At state level, I told you, Shukanto Majumdar and Shubhendu Adhikari. At district level, we have a district president who is the face of the party in that district.
But let's, sorry, interrupting, just on the roadshow side of things, like let's say if Narendra Modi does not come and do any roadshow in Bengal, let's say for a state election,
Right.
Don't you think it will leave a very big dent in terms of the reach, the support that BJP?
Why will he not do a road show, right? He has, when he's the prime minister of the country and there's a state election, and he has to come to support his party. But to look at the bigger picture, we want one nation, one election, right? So not going into the policy side of things, what is happening is there is we have 29 states and there is a state election every 3-4 months.
Right.
So after 2024 election, there will be Haryana state elections.
Yeah.
Right? So that is why we want one nation, one election. So assembly and Lok Sabha happens together.
Right.
So we are not in the election mode every 3-4 months.
It's also good for a country also in terms of like the work goes on and
the work goes on. There is much more stability. There is not a test of the government. Oh, this is the test of this policy you did.
Got it. So let's now talk about some specific aspects of where we felt that the media will or has had a crucial role. So previously, traditionally, we've seen just press conferences and these things showcasing what the government has done. Now you're coming into the concept of white paper and black paper. Congress recently released a black paper. I went into the white paper in a lot of detail. Black paper, one thing was popping out was the unemployment part, which for some reason the white paper didn't mention. Didn't you feel like they could have mentioned, even if it was not a very promising thing? A lot of things were already good. So unemployment numbers were not discussed in that. Do you think that that could have also been mentioned?
First, I'll go into the policy side of things. I think in our government's focus should be on people. When you talk about jobs being created by the government, you mean government jobs, right? So jobs data or jobs created by the government cannot create unlimited amount of government jobs. So there has to be a limit of government jobs. You cannot give government jobs to everyone. A maximum what government jobs can be given to 1% to 3% of the population, but maximum of the jobs that will be coming will be from the private sector, right?
The ease of business and also those things come into
So our country's focus has not been on manufacturing till now. Now the focus is towards Make in India, towards manufacturing. That is how we create jobs. So the culture of doing business in India. We are not brought into families that except few communities of say Marwadis and Gujaratis. Rest of India I don't think is brought into that culture. I will do a business, right? People are buying into the culture that I will have to do job. So to answer your question, I want to focus this on a policy thing. Whether my government is bringing in policies that will support, that will bring in jobs, that will support jobs in future, or I will get more jobs in future. Yeah, say whether the government is building infrastructure, whether the logistics is better, whether waterways is better. If these things are better, then jobs will automatically come, industries will
Right.
automatically come. So jobs data, I think for a 10-year government is not that relevant. Whether my government is working on the infrastructure so that jobs come in my country is more relevant to me.
It's like something like what Saudi Arabia, Dubai did, that they've created an infrastructure with a
Something
very
which,
long-term vision.
yeah, something which Singapore has done. See what Singapore was, say 70 years back or say now. So something if you can say something what China did.
Do you
We
think we will be there where China has been in all these years in terms of like boom in manufacturing, infra,
So what the
jobs?
Prime Minister is talking about is Vision 2047. So
Right.
we are working to become India developed country by 2047.
100 years.
Yes, 100
Okay.
years of India's independence, we should be a developed country. And we are also working on a 5 trillion economy by 2030. We should be a developed economy by 2047. That's the vision of the Prime Minister. And if that is the vision of the Prime Minister, jobs will come because he what we are building is infrastructure for say next 100 years, 200 years. We are building bullet train, rapid rail. So for example, Indian Railways. The Indian Railways was a political gimmick in India. Railway budget was a political gimmick which we did away
Got rid
with.
of, yeah.
Yes, so what happened is trains used to be announced where the railway minister is from. Mamata Banerjee used to say,
Duronto
yeah,
came, then
Duronto,
Mamta,
yeah,
yeah.
Duronto, then you have Garib Rath and all this. They were all political gimmicks. So we brought in Bande Bharat. It looks classy. It has a certain set of routes where it is has started. We have more than 50 Vande Bharat Express, and tracks were not maintained, tracks were outdated. These infrastructure works, which our country did not do for the last 60, 70 years. Now we are doing it. Now Vande Bharat has a capacity to run 200 kilometers per hour, but it is average speed is now 90, 100 kilometers. Why? Because we have not maintained the tracks. Our
Yeah.
tracks are not bounded. Anybody can come in and come to the tracks.
Right.
So they are now a boundary wall is being made on the track so that people cannot, loiter on the tracks, right? So that is the infrastructure is needed for a high-speed train like Vande Bharat. We did not
Mhm.
have that infrastructure. Now we are building the infrastructure and rolling out Vande Bharat Express at the same time. So that infrastructure was not created to create jobs by the private sector.
Got you.
Otherwise, I think government has whatever jobs government is providing, it is maxing out, right? 2-3% of India's population max. But the rest of the jobs will be created by the private sector, and for private sector to create that jobs, you have to give them that infrastructure.
Got it. Then, strictly speaking, from a media standpoint, such numbers like the paper that Congress released on this, are you worried about such things affecting into the minds of the people? Because ultimately
No.
it does show a number. Not everyone will understand so much of dependencies of the past governments and decades and everything.
So people do understand that past governments, the failures of past government, people understand. That is why they have voted for Modi government twice, and they will vote for the Modi government for the third time. So people understand what kind of infrastructure has come in the last few years. For example, expressways. How we India had hardly any expressways before 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Now you see the number of kilometers of expressways. You see metro trains, hardly few cities had metros. Now we have at least 15 plus cities having metros, right?
Right.
Rapid, this Delhi Meerut RRTS. That is a new dimension of how future of traveling will be. Now in this manifesto, we have promised multiple corridors of bullet train going to north, east, south, west,
I personally
everywhere.
traveled through Atal Tunnel and
Right.
I've gone previously also, and that was a very long route. So Atal Tunnel was a very big feat by the government. If you say like if people are aware, then I'll just ask a more open-ended question. Do you see Congress to be a threat anymore as far as the national government is concerned? Is it still a worry what it was previously at all?
Congress got 52 seats in the entire general election. We have more seats in Uttar Pradesh than Congress has in the entire country. So you understand, Congress has will become a regional party, and in few years down the line, it will lose the national party status. That is the situation of the Congress. Otherwise, this election, 2024 elections, there is no face of the opposition. I don't think
India
Congress,
bloc as a whole.
not India bloc. See what is happening in West Bengal. There, India bloc, the Congress is there, Trinamool is there, INC is there, Congress, Trinamool, and um, CPM.
CPM.
All are there. In West Bengal, they are fighting it out. In various seats, Congress is, say in a seat like Jongipur, Congress and TMC are fighting against each other.
Mhm.
So there's people. If India bloc, to make India bloc to be successful, there had to be an alliance in West Bengal. If
Right.
even if there would have been an alliance between TMC and Congress, then people would have at least saw some hope in West Bengal. But India alliance has no hope in West Bengal.
Then, from a reverse standpoint, what do you think
Mhm.
is the biggest weakness of BJP?
Biggest weakness of BJP, in Bengal or nationally?
Any like whatever like you want to share.
Yes. So I think one weakness which I can foresee is to find a successor of Narendra Modi. Because at one point, say 7 years, 8 years down the line, you have to find the successor of Narendra Modi. And Narendra Modi has become such a big figure that to find a successor of Narendra Modi will be very difficult for Bharatiya Janata Party. It's not a weakness right now, but I think this will become. They're not. I am not
There
saying
is
that
like
there are a lot of people in BJP who can become the next prime minister or take the place of Mr. Modi. But what I'm telling you is the
what will be really big.
the
Yeah,
personality Narendra Modi has for the person who will come in place of Narendra Modi will be very difficult to fulfill.
got it. All right. On that note, then let's talk about the next stage. Like right now, elections are going on. Today was the first day of elections.
Right, first phase
Uh,
of election.
First phase of elections for the central government.
Right,
2 years later, we'll see the state government elections.
right,
Uh, Something we saw a lot, I think it was in Tripura,
right,
that BJP as a phase did not exist as such. But you
right.
guys completely turned the picture.
Hmm.
Uh, Bengal is a tough nut to crack.
Hmm.
Has been difficult. Still is a bit difficult, but state this time it's looking like a different change. What do you expect by the time it's 2026? How will media play out a role, and where do you think the BJP will stand?
Tripura is a very small state. In West Bengal, there are districts which are bigger than Tripura, right? So
Hmm.
you can okay, the Bengali population is there in both states, but both states cannot be compared. It's a state of 60 Vidhan Sabha constituencies, and we have got majority twice. Bengal is a big state with 294 assembly constituencies. You understand?
Right.
So much bigger than Tripura, and dynamics are different. The dynamics of North Bengal, dynamics of Dar Bangla, Nabuddeep,
Right.
Kolkata, dynamics are different. So then Midnapur dynamics are different. So West Bengal as a state is very complex, and from 3 seats in 2016 to before 2016 we hardly existed in Bengal. From 3 seats in 2016 we have a jump to 77 seats. So no party, show me one party which in a big state has jumped from 3 to 77 in the last 30-40 years. That is one of the biggest jump from nowhere in 2016 to becoming the second largest, the principal opposition party in Bengal. I think
Hmm.
it's a big feat. And in 2026, the way things are going on, the corruption scandals which have come up. Sandesh Khali has rocked the entire state. The women, especially, will come to power in 2026. And to answer your question, media will play an important role in that.
Okay. So in 2026, you're positive that BJP, we'll see a BJP government in the state.
Yes.
And of course, media will play a very important role, but I just want to again touch on the existing trends. Do you guys partner with influencers, uh,
Hmm.
like beyond advertisements? Because all private groups, even today, if I want to tie up with an influencer for sharpener, then I would like tell them to talk about my startup and everything. Uh, would you also consider doing that?
See, we won't provide any money, or we speak to a lot of influencers about our party, about our ideology. But if you're talking about a commercial engagement,
Hmm.
I don't think we'll do a commercial engagement with an influencer.
Any reason why?
No, I'm not supportive as a media co-incharge. I'm not supportive of paying money to influencers to promote my party. Okay,
Okay.
because I think influencers are an independent, you know, uh, artist. Say someone who is doing videos on YouTube. Also, I feel providing the money by a political party would be unethical. They are doing commercial engagements, that all right, but providing, doing commercial engagement with an influencer will, in my eyes, it's unethical. So here in Bengal, I
Got it.
don't think it will happen.
Okay. Last question, Kali. First phase of elections, your thoughts on opinion polls and exit polls. Are they
Hmm.
reliable? Do you guys follow them?
Yeah, we as media we have to follow them, and whether they are reliable or not is their is a time tested thing, because it's everything on the open. What the numbers you provided, what were the actual
You have
numbers?
your own exit polls also? You
No, we
follow?
don't have any opinion polls, exit polls. There are agencies which are doing it. Of course, we take feedback, which are our independent feedback, but we don't do an opinion poll or an exit poll of any sorts. Party, no part. Don't think any other party in India does that. But yeah, we do look at the numbers. Whether I believe in them or not is, I might believe one opinion poll who are getting an election by election correct. So I might believe in them, but
Right.
some opinion polls which are not getting elections correct, I might not believe in that. It's up to me whether which agency is doing that opinion poll.
Got it. All right. That's it for my questions.
Right,
Thanks a lot for this time. I know you have another press conference
right,
in
right.
just a couple of minutes. So this has been really useful. You only see the political sides of things. You added the element of media side into that especially.
Correct, correct.
So a great podcast. Thanks a lot, Kali.
Thank you. All the best.
All right. Thank you.